Mr Deputy Speaker, last night I watched and heard the testimony of a midwife who was present at a live birth following an abortion, and she was asked to actually photograph the child for the hospital records or the medical clinic's records, and in taking the photograph the child actually started breathing. And the child started breathing and continued to live for several hours. And that child died without any medical intervention. And this happens in hospitals and abortion clinics across this country on more of a regular basis than we would like to think, and what the abortionists like to admit. Because one of them in recent times has said that this is a rare occurrence. It is not a rare occurrence. I had the Parliamentary Library do a bit of research on this topic, looking into the commonality of abortions where there is a live birth. And what they found is that in Victoria, according to the Mothers, Babies and Children publication, there are a total of 1,626 late-term abortions in Victoria that resulted in 198 live births between 2012 and 2016. That's over 12% of those late-term abortions that resulted in live births. And there does not appear to be any medical intervention as a result of those births. In Queensland, an ABC report stated there were 204 terminations with live birth outcomes between 2005 and 2015. And in fact, in Queensland, the Queensland Health clinical guidelines for medical termination of pregnancy actually state if a live birth occurs, do not provide life-sustaining treatment, for example, gastric tubes, IV lines and oxygen therapy. Document date and time end of life occurs. In other words, leave the baby to die. In WA, there were 27 cases as at 19th of May 2017, 27 cases of abortion that resulted in a live birth that were reported between July 1999 and December 2016. Of these, 21 were at 20 weeks gestation or later. There is no record of medical intervention or resuscitation in these cases. In South Australia, while abortion's been liberalised very recently, thanks to the work of people like Jodie Pickard and Love Adelaide, and also the work of Senator Antic, who's in the chamber here listening to my speech, there have been provisions put into new laws that actually make it a legal obligation that medical care be given to babies born alive during abortions. And we don't know the full picture. These stats that I quoted in other states are not the full picture, and there certainly is no data out of Tasmania, Northern Territory or ACT. Also, New South Wales does not publish statistics. Now, we have an external affairs power in our Constitution, and we also have international obligations under the International Convention of the Rights of the Child. And in that International Convention, which we have signed up to, it states in Article 6 that state parties, which includes Australia, recognise that every child has the inherent right to life, and that state parties, again including Australia, shall ensure to the maximum extent possible the survival and development of the child. Further, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights provides that every human being has the inherent right to life. The right to life shall be protected by law, and no one shall be arbitrarily deprived of his life.
Sounds pretty clear to me.
So that is clear. We are in breach in this country of our international obligations. And as a result, I have had the Parliamentary Council actually draft for me a bill. It is the Human Rights Children Born Alive Protection Bill. This bill seeks to make it mandatory in all states and territories for all corporations that are involved in medical termination of pregnancies or abortions to actually provide medical life-saving treatment when a child is born alive as a result of an abortion. Whatever your view on abortion, there is no argument that a child that is out of the womb, that is at 22 weeks or more and has a chance of living, we know this from babies that are born very, very early, that there should be no argument against providing a child life-saving treatment in these circumstances. So I've written to the Prime Minister, the Health Minister, the Attorney General, the Deputy Prime Minister, asked them to consider making this bill a government bill, or at least allowing it as a private member's bill to go to a vote on the floor of Parliament. This should be the most serious issue before this parliament because it's a life and death issue. Young babies are dying across this country and it needs to stop.